Today I'm watching more Australian comedy, Australian satire from Clarke and Dawe, and I thought this one would be a bit more relevant to me. Margaret Thatcher's legacy, being British of course. I'm interested to know how Margaret Thatcher is thought of in Australia. What do you think about her? Does she have any sort of like legacy or any thoughts? Maybe people just don't even care about her that much. Because obviously she was a British politician, Prime Minister. But interested to know maybe at the time how she was covered in the media or thought of in Australia. But interested to see what Clarke and Dawe create about her. Let's check it out.
Thanks for your time tonight.
Very good to be with you, and good evening.
I wonder if you could give us an assessment of Margaret Thatcher's legacy.
Yes, what a remarkable legacy this will be. It's unimaginable that Britain would be where it is today without Margaret Thatcher.
How did she achieve that?
Well, many ways. I mean, a key element was the complete transformation of the British economy.
In what way would you say?
Well, I don't think it's any exaggeration to say that the British economy today is a direct result of the reforms of the Thatcher government.
Hang on a second. I think we've got to be very careful here, I'm afraid.
Beg your pardon?
Well, if you're going to make statements that are potentially libellous, we've got to be careful.
Libellous? I'm paying a tribute to one of the greatest leaders of the last 100 years, young man.
Yes, but I don't think you can blame Margaret Thatcher for the current state of the British economy.
It's not very
Very
contentious.
good.
Everybody will agree that the current British economy is as it is because of what Margaret Thatcher did.
Let's talk about her legacy in other areas, maybe.
Other than economics.
Yeah.
But economics was the main thrust of what she did. It was the administration's main purpose.
Hang on a second. With all due respect, we invited you on this program tonight to talk about the legacy of one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century, not to make unsubstantiated allegations.
They're not unsubstantiated. Do you know what happened? I mean, first of all, she had to defeat the Wets in her own party, then completely construct a financial services industry in London. I mean, the manufacturing industry in the north was shut down.
No. Legal will not let us run this.
I don't think there's any point in denying that Margaret Thatcher picked the British economy up off the canvas, and today Britain is a world leader.
Britain today currently owes £1 trillion.
Technically.
Because the boys in London lost it all gambling.
Well, that's not the only legacy either, of course. Then you've got Tony Blair is a Thatcher Prime Minister.
Oh, he's her fault as well. Listen, we invited you in here to give a tribute to Mrs Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher herself described her legacy as being Tony Blair.
She wasn't very well at the time. Let's talk about the end of the Cold War, shall we?
That's about as sharp-witted as you can get. Like, she wasn't very well. Yeah, great. I like the concept of this, like really dissing the British economy, and if anything, since this has probably been recorded, everything's got so much worse in the UK as well.
To the Cold War, shall we?
She did that.
Was there anyone else involved?
Oh yeah, you can't do a thing like that on your own. There was an American actor involved.
Ronald Reagan.
That's his name, yes.
They ended the Cold War.
They did.
Any Russians involved?
Probably, but you're asking about the legacy of Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for your time
Then there
tonight.
was the Falklands War.
Yeah, do we know the long-term consequences of that?
Yeah, she won a landslide after that. The Labor Party got completely hosed out.
Hang on, I think we might go back to the economy.
OK, very happy to talk about her economic legacy. Britain today, world leader.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to get a lawyer in here. Are you going to talk about Mark Thatcher, by the way?
Mark Thatcher? No, not if I can help it.
Oh, well, at least you have some decency.
No, you've got to have some standards.
Oh man, I wish I could see them talk more about British politics today. Of course, that's not possible, but I wish I could see more of them even talking about British politics at that time and just really taking a deep dive in it, analysing it. Like, this is so sharply written and acted, of course, like that sort of miscommunication, but just really destroying Britain at the same time. And yeah, again, interested to know more about what Margaret Thatcher was thought of in Australia. I was obviously, she was before my time, but I know from my family, who were a working class family, they never really respected her, we can say that. But there's obviously arguments for and against her. She did a lot of bad with the closing of the mines and did a lot bad for the working class, but did she do good for Britain overall? I don't know, but it's an interesting debate. Tell me what you think, and tell me what you think about this. Recommend more from Clarke and Dawe. Always excited to see some of their work. Thanks.